Rochdale. I'm in Unison Steward. We're facing £100 million worth of cuts in our council, and so we've decided to do stuff about it. And one of the things that we've done recently is they wanted to have a bike race starting off from Rochdale, a national bike race. So the council somehow found we reckon about £200,000 to do up parts of Rochdale, so that when the TV cameras came down, they wouldn't see any of the closed up shops. They actually put like vinyl sheets over the front of shops, showing what the shops would be like. I kid you not. This is what they will do. But so we said we'd have a protest. We decided we'd have a protest at our branch meeting. And just a few days before we had our protest, somehow it got around the council that we were going to have a naked lie down in front of the bikes. This was never mooted. Up there, I mean, it gives you a fantastic insight of how worried, how nervous their side are. They are not confident at all, and that's something that should give us confidence. They were absolutely, they were really, really worried that we were going to do. And next time there's a bike race, if we come next year, I might even consider it, But basically, my point is this: we can't be passive against £100 million worth of cuts. When they say £100 million worth of cuts, they want to catch you like a rabbit in the headlights. We need to resist. We've already done that. We'll do it next week when the Trade Union Day of Action is going on. We're going to be out in Rochdale campaigning again, and I hope people that are here from Rochdale can see afterwards about helping out with that. But my point is, we must not underestimate how weak, how nervous, how divided their side is. If we protest even in small numbers at the beginning, we will gather around us a huge united coalition of people who can resist the cuts and who can go on to fight for a better future.
We had this debate about how do we build the fight against the cuts in Wigan some 3 months ago, and we invited everybody who we possibly that moved vaguely on the left in Wigan to come along to it, and as a result of that we've been able to launch our campaign. We've now got the Trades Council doing stuff, and we've also got 4 local MPs supporting us, one of whom is Andy Burnham, believe it or not. That's how broad a movement we need, right? We don't want just a movement of the left. We want a movement of the people. In Wigan, we've managed to do that with an authoritative campaign, unified campaign, and that's something that's needed in the Manchester, I would suggest, and why people in Manchester should be going on to Room 2. Just to say in terms of practical activities, because I do think we should be concentrating on more what needs to be done tomorrow rather than what vision of the future we have, although we need to have that discussion. There's several events coming up locally and nationally, including the demonstration in Birmingham, but there's certainly another one on the 23rd of October, which I want to give a plug to, which will be outside the BBC studios on Oxford Road. I hope everybody will come down to that and we can unite around. That's a right to work initiative, but I don't give a shit who's organised it. Let's get down there and support it.
I'm on the Joint Stewards Committee and Merseycare Mental Health Trust. Just so briefly, the situation is with my members is that there is a distinct lack of confidence. We've had 30 years of basically conservative policies in this country, and that has absolutely ripped the back out of the confidence. There's been talk of unofficial action. My members, if I was to put that to my members, I don't think that I would be the chief steward tomorrow. The situation is that there would be fear of losing jobs, because that is the consequence of unofficial action. What we need to see first of all is marches, people doing stuff, and that will give the confidence. Because at the moment, a whole lot of people in the health service see what's going to happen. They see that, and I use the word privatisation of the health service, but what they fear is they're on their own having to deal with that.
I want to use this opportunity to make a very serious confession. I once voted for Liberal Democrats. In fact, I actually voted for Vince Cable, and I'm very contrite, and I want to basically make up for it by using Vince, who I understood was very good at making money when he was at Shell, in a fundraising contribution for the convention of the left. Because Vince Cable, Vince VC, he wouldn't get it for bravery, would he? But he's clearly very clever, he's very cunning, and he's also a vital cog in the vicious cabinet that is bringing in these vicious cuts. And Vince, you don't actually look very comfortable, and I actually hope that you are vomiting copiously whilst making these vicious cuts. And I would say to the rest of us, if you haven't already made a valuable contribution to our valiant cause, then we really do need that vital catch.
I'm just making a call now to all the left groups who run off in different directions, doing their own little thing. We have to unite, because if we don't, history will condemn us, because we're under the biggest attack in my lifetime. And if we don't do that, we'll go down in history as betrayers.
Our approach has been not to set up yet another umbrella, but to support all the umbrellas that exist against the cuts, whether it's coalition resistance, rights to work campaign, initiatives by the Shop Stewards Network, and so on. And I think that's the best approach. Hopefully, eventually we can bring things together into one democratic united campaign. But in the meantime, we support all serious initiatives. The important thing is to stress that people work on the ground in building up committees, networks, working with trade unions, and so on. My other hat, postal worker. It's been vaguely mentioned about the privatisation of Royal Mail. I want to say a bit more. The CWU campaign is now, finally, thank God, kicking off. And one of the things that people can do in terms of building up networks is to contact local postal workers, is to work with them around the campaign against privatisation. Now, somebody said, there's a brief discussion going on about unofficial action. The postal workers have done a lot of it, I've done a lot of it. However, people should bear in mind that actually quite a lot of militant postal workers are fairly demoralised at the moment, because they don't think the last deal was the great deal that our leadership tells us it was. So working with campaign cuts activists and so on can give people in the postal workers confidence to fight against privatisation. So it's a two-way thing. And that's important in terms of building our local networks, building up that confidence, building up that support as a two-way thing between users, campaigners and the actual workers themselves.
At the first convention of the left, SW had a charter, Communist Party had a charter, LRC had a charter, Greens had a charter. We wanted one charter, and people agreed at that to come together. What happened was another bunch of people went and did their own selling charter. It was yet another charter. What we've got to keep doing through any of these organisations is keep talking to one another and keep informing one another and keep our spirits up at the same time.